Hey guys, Joey Vigor here. I am so excited to announce Chaosmos the Temple is now live on Tabletop Simulator for all to play. It is free. All you need to do is get Steam, which is a distribution platform for games. That's free. Get Tabletop Simulator. That costs a few bucks, but it is a great deal. And you're going to want to sign into our Discord channel. That's a chat platform, and the link for that is on the Kickstarter update. And from there, you can post in the general chat and say hi to everybody and see what they're up to. And of course, there's voice chats, so you can say hello to people that way. And so when you actually play the game, you're going to use Discord probably to do your voice. That way, you won't have to hold buttons down in order to talk. You can just, it's basically like a Google Hangout from right within the Discord channel. Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do, go to Steam. You'll see your library of games on the left, and at the top, you'll see Community. Come down to Workshop. In Workshop, you're going to type in Tabletop Simulator. It'll pop up, then you're going to type in Chaosmos. You're going to want to subscribe to that. Like so. Once you've subscribed to it, now it's going to show up in your own personal workshop. So basically, you can go to Library, go back home, find Tabletop Simulator, and you're going to start it. And it's time to get excited because, woo, here we are. Now, you can join other people's games, and you can also invite other people to join. You can reach out to your friends. You can hit Shift-Tab to invite your friends to play games directly, or you can just type onto the Discord channel where you're going to be and what the name of your room is. You're going to create a new server, multiplayer. We'll say Chaosmos 1, password Chaosmos, and I usually leave a couple extra slots. The game plays 2 to 6 players, but this mod, this digital platform, we're only having the scripting work for 3 to 6 players. So you're going to want at least 3 players to play this. Create a server. And now you are in Tabletop Simulator, find Chaosmos, fully scripted. I've got some other stuff. You can ignore that for now. And you're going to load it in. Wait for it to load, and the first thing you're going to want to do if you're not the host is you're going to want to choose a color. It automatically turned me into the white player here. So this is the sort of default setup. If you don't know how to play the game, you're going to take some time before you host a game and actually read the rulebook. You can always mouse over something and hold the Option or Alt key to see it bigger. So this gives you some information. It's sort of the unfinished expansion rulebook here, and then there's the basic rulebook, which you can see here. So that'll teach you how to play the game. Hopefully you can figure out the controls here. You're going to do a lot of right clicking to move around this sort of a 3D world, and you can use ASD keys to move around here, and you can zoom in. And if you have questions about the key commands, you can go to the menu, configuration, and controls, and that will tell you how to do what you're trying to do. Okay, so you'll note that we didn't bring the minis in yet because we wanted it to load real fast. So we've got these little standees for each of the different aliens. There's 13 of them there. And this is one of the default boards. This is the board with 12 planets for 5 or 6 players, but you can also play with different maps. You can build your own maps. Hidden inside, you can right-click and search. You'll actually find all these different maps that you can take a look at and play on them. Inside this box, there's a whole world of things to explore. Don't touch too much of this stuff yet, because what you're going to want to do first, you don't want to mess up the scripting. Have each of the players, so when they log into Tabletop Simulator, they're going to select a color for Tabletop Simulator. That's not necessarily going to correspond to the color of the game of the player that the character they're gonna play in the game. But they can if they want. So if you want to be the pink player, you could put it like there. But if you've already logged in and you happen to be the blue player, you can still play the pink player. So put the little standee here and put at least 3 players down. So once you've had all your players select which alien they want to play, you will be able to press this big red button here, and that will deal the different player boards. It'll deal the cosmic pool cards, and perhaps more exciting than all that, it will deal all the cards. Now, if it's only a 2 or 3 player game, you're not going to have the counterfeit ovoid. You're not going to have the cipher cards. So don't worry about these. These will just sit to the side if you're only playing a 2 or 3 player game. And if you're playing a 4, 5, or 6 game, then one of these ciphers will be shuffled in, and there's going to be a second ovoid as well. So that is pretty exciting. Now, if you're playing one of the new aliens, there's a couple different things to note. You're going to want to, if you're playing Dreeg or Izzet specifically, you want to click and drag the Issachar and the Talus Cloud, and you can drop it onto 2 hexes just on top, basically, of hexes that aren't being used by aliens that are in the game, or aliens that you don't want it to be their toxic planet either. You can right-click on things, and you, as the host of the game, can unlock it, and then you can relock it when you are done. So things are pretty intuitive in Tabletop Simulator. You can zoom in, you can spin around, you can see what's going on. You can pick things up. You're going to be able to select multiple dice, pick them up. Probably just want to roll 2 at a time here. You can hit R several times. Just keep hitting R to bring up the dice. And you can even kind of hit R as you're dragging them. So you can hold them like this and hit R while you do it. And now they're going to roll pretty good. All right. So the clock. You're going to be able to click the clock down. I recommend that for a 4-player game, you start at about 36 turns. And in a 5-player game, you'll probably start at 40 turns and maybe 42 turns in a 6-player game. I wouldn't play at 48. It's just a long game. It's a little bit longer, quite a bit longer, actually, when you're playing it online, because half the game is figuring out how to pick things up and give things to each other. Okay, so you'll see these cards in the Cosmic Pool. I'm not going to teach you the rules now. If you don't know how to play, there's a bunch of videos online. You can hopefully find out how to play. But you can hit F, as in Frank, to flip cards over, so if you can't see something. And again, you can hit the Alt or Option key to pull something up. So if you don't know what player power someone has, you can just sort of mouse over. Okay, I'm going to create a new game here so I can load it up again and show you a couple more things. So if you're going to be playing with a large player count, which is fun, let's play, say, 6 different characters here. And again, they don't have to be on the right color. All right. So I'm going to be Drusu this game. Okay, so in front of you, your character sheet will appear, and you can Option or Alt to see it. This is your upgrade ability. This basically can be purchased at the cost of a hyper token. Whee! As a free action on your turn, and you get it for the rest of the game. And then this ability, the ally ability, this is something you actually give to your ally when a Concordia happens, which is what happens when an event is triggered. So we'll get to that later. So each player is going to start with a number of cards in front of them. That's appropriate based on the number of players in the game. So you're going to right-click and draw, or the other thing you can do is you could just hover over and it'll say the number of cards. You can just hit that number, so 3 in this case. It takes all the cards into my hand. Now this is important to note. See this black zone here? These are secret zones. So even though it looks like my cards are face up for the world to see, In fact, it is totally secret. So like, for example, I'll take one of my cards, and now it's public. If I put it into this guy's zone, whoop, see, it disappears. So if you want to take something out of your zone, hit the F key to flip it over. So you can actually flip over cards in your hand here, and that way... So this is sort of the representation of your card in your hidden zone, and then this is the cards in your hand here. So now your cards are face down for you, but even when they're face up, they're invisible to everybody else, as long as the cards stay within that zone. But as soon as you take the card out of the zone, right there, see, secret zone, not secret zone. Now it's public. Like I said, F flips, and you can always right-click on something and deal it into your hand. So suppose you want to do a trade with the Cosmic Pool here. You'll say, okay, I'm going to take this Trust Decryptor, and I'll put it here, and I'm going to take this one. You can draw it, or you can just hit that number 1, because it's one card, and it pops in your hand. And even during the animation of something flying into your hand, it's going to remain face down for other people. So say you have a card here, and you're going to draw it. It appears... Oh, it happened to the ovoid. That's funny. It's going to draw into your hand actually face down, so only you can see it. So as you know, you're going to be spending your actions to move. So you'll say, okay, I got 3 actions. Okay, I'll go 1, 2, and my third action will be to control Guriwan. So don't put your flag down yet, because you want to make sure that you don't get trapped. So you always... Here's the envelopes. If you click and hold on the envelopes, you can drag the envelope over to in front of your section here. And you can even drag the envelope into your hidden zone, so only you can see it. But before you do that, it's critical that you check for traps and vaults. And the way you do that is, instead of clicking and holding and dragging, you click and drag real quick, and that top card pops out. Everyone sees it's a face-down card. Okay, good. It's not a trap or a vault. Now everyone's confirmed that. Bring it into your zone and do with it what you want. Okay, so how do you set up a trap or a vault on a planet secretly? Well, you got your envelope, and it's in your hidden zone here. And let's see what's inside it. Let's drag it to our hand. Okay, so we got a bunch of cool stuff here. We got a key. Okay, so let's take this ovoid. Just to be safe, technically if you put things in your envelope, people won't see it, but I like to flip cards over using the F key and put them in here. And so let's say we'll put the Spore immunity in there and the Imp immunity in there, and Ion Grenade, we'll come back for that later. And we'll put the ovoid in there. Now, put the last card as the trap or the vault. Make it the last card you drop in there and make sure it's face up. And then when you drag it back, you don't want to drag it fast because it'll pull it right out again. So drag it nice and slow. Pick up your envelope. There it is. Ooh, you're spinning it. You could keep it in front of yourself, or you could say, oh, I'm going to return the envelope back there. No problem. Now you're done with your turn. Make sure you put your flag down. Always put your flag down. And you're done. And if you want to play with Planet Effect tokens, they're in the box already. And then go ahead and click your turn. Oopsie. Go ahead and click your turn. Now, oh, look, what does it say? Reveal Phase 1 event. So that now there's events in this game. What does the Phase 1 event say? Flip. Favor compensation. Okay, so there's a new thing going on here with favor. And then when it hits 0, the player with the correct ovoid wins, obviously. And the temporal displacer is a little different, so you're going to want to learn about how that works. Okay, so scrying somebody's hand. One way that works pretty good, I've noticed, is... I just like to take all my cards like this, just select them all, and I just drag them out of my zone like that. And then the other player can just basically hit G to group them, right-click, and search. And then you can see, and then hold the Option or Alt key to view them all. And then you can hit 5 again. If there's 5 cards, you can hit 5, and they'll just go right back into your hand. If he's using a special thing like a Claw of Khatun to steal a card from your hand at random, or there's a card, Aerogen Mollifier, that allows them in combat to prevent you from playing a random card. So what I do in that case is I turn all my cards face down, I hit F, and then I sort of muss them about like this, and then they can see face down cards in my hand. They can literally just reach out and just grab the card out of my hidden zone, just like that, and then they can bring it into their zone, and it'll come back into their zone. So I think that works pretty well. I don't think you need to do a lot of dealing in this game, but if you ever need to deal cards, you can always just, like if there's a special event where everybody gets to draw a favor card or something, you can literally right-click and hit deal, and then deal a card, say, I'm the white player, so you can just deal a card to you. So now I have a favor card, which favor cards stay in your hand. They don't go into envelopes. The Concordia events, once these events trigger, then everyone gets to form alliances, and they get to trade their little ally powers with each other, and they can actually win together. So that's fun. Anyway, and then yeah, I think you're gonna have a fun time playing this game. If you have any questions, just post in the Discord, and if you're having an issue with the setup, let us know. We're still updating the scripts every now and then. Please note with the white alien, Tertalja, he has a bit of a complicated setup. So let me see if I can find him here. So if you're playing with Tertalja, you have to bring out his little bag here, and you have to set him up manually, because he's got a special power with the game setup. So you would have to deal the cards manually. But again, it's not the end of the world if you have to do that. Just be aware that Tertalja is not normally playable with the scripts to deal. Okay, so that is pretty much it. You click the clock down until somebody wins the game. And then you want to brag in the Discord. And Grilled Cheese Sandwiches in the Discord channel has set up a Google Drive doc, so you can trace the wins and losses and which players won and whether they had the ovoid and things like that. So, and if the temporal displacer got used. So, you know, if you want to contribute to the data for playtesting, please do, but you don't have to. The game is meant for fun. Have a great time, enjoy the game, and never forget to flip the table when you're done. See you later.